Hi, I'm Shoestring Jane. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and money saving. Lola is joining us, as you can see, as usual. I thought today I would talk about 5 frugal things or frugal thoughts for February. I know we're in the middle of February now, so I probably should have done this at the beginning of February, but they're not really related to the month. It's just some frugal thoughts that I had. So lots of us need to scale back and save a bit of money at the moment. And some of us being extra careful because of the situation with the economy and cost of living crisis and what's happening in the world, which is kind of scary in places. But so I'm always kind of thinking about things really. So I thought I would just put down some of my thoughts and give you 5 frugal things for February. So the first one is scaling down your cleaning products and, just thinking about what you've got in your cleaning cupboard, the products you've got already, focusing on really using them up. Because what I find is that I used to find this when I used to be a cleaner. I used to go to clean other people's houses relatively recently, and that they would have multiples of the same product. So they would have something to do with the sink and they'd have another half filled one that they hadn't finished at the back of the cupboard, and they'd have various bottles and potions and chemicals to clean any area of the house, but they'd have loads of them. And I've scaled ours down to the bare minimum, and they're mostly things that I make because I am trying to reduce the environmental pollution in our home. So for me, it's important not to have loads and loads of chemicals in the house. And I use Nancy Birtwistle. She has a book called Green and Clean, and she's got several books actually. They're all very good. I really like her. You should follow her on Instagram. She's very good. I think she might do TikTok as well. And she's full of common sense basically, and the recipes are very easy to use and very simple. This morning I made some of her general purpose, like all purpose cleaner, which you can use to clean glass, you can use to clean surfaces, you can use it for any cleaning job really in the house. And it's basically white vinegar, surgical spirit, water and the essential oil of your choice. I happened to have rose, so I used a few drops of rose when I made it this morning, but I have used eucalyptus, I've used lemon, I've used orange, whatever you like really, to just take away the edge of the vinegar. Although to be honest, the vinegar doesn't even smell that bad in the first place when you mix it up with surgical spirit, but that vinegar smell goes so quickly, it just dissipates in the air. So without leaving, you use a can of Mr. Sheen or something to polish your furniture, it leaves a real chemical smell. I just do have sensitivities, I think. So for me, that's not ideal. I'll get an absolute massive headache if someone's got an air freshener, one of those plug-in air fresheners. I'll start to cough. And if people use a lot of chemicals in their house, I'm the same. So for me, it doesn't work. I don't want to do that. I want to minimise them as much as possible. So there's lots of chemicals I can't do anything about. You bring furniture into your house, you've got mattresses, you've got carpets, they've all got chemicals on them. So I don't want to introduce any more. So as well as kind of just generally simplifying and saving money, I'm kind of making a healthier home, hopefully. So that's one way you can do it. And I've actually really slimmed our cleaning box down to hardly any products really. I've got the all-purpose cleaning spray, the Toilet Magic, which cleans any kind of surfaces where you might get lime scale, and we are in quite a big area for lime scale here. So any sinks, toilet, anything like that, I clean with that, and it's really, really effective. Tiles around the shower, that kind of thing. And then I've got a few different cloths, scourers. I'm trying to think what else I use. I've got some Ecover to stick down the toilet, but to be honest, I think the Toilet Magic does just as well, really. So I don't know that I will bother buying any more Ecover toilet cleaner in the future. So still got one up, one down in the downstairs loo. So what else have I got? That is pretty much it. Oh, I do have some beeswax, which was left over from when we did have some wooden furniture. To be honest, I don't use it. I've got a sideboard downstairs I could use it on, but I just tend not to use it. So that's really it. You can save loads of money just scaling things down and not... I don't use fabric conditioner either. I haven't used it for a long time. So don't miss it, don't need it. In fact, I'm thinking my next recipe that I'm going to use of Nancy Nancy Birtwistle, did I say Entwistle? Nancy Birtwistle's book will be her laundry liquid, so I'm going to make some of that next. Anyway, that's my first one then. Just cut back on all of your cleaning supplies. So number 2 is to question all of your purchases before you make them. Get into the habit of stopping and thinking, and even if it's just to do your research, so to make sure you're getting the best product with good reviews, the best quality you can afford. Do some research. That will tend to slow you down and stop you impulse purchasing anyway. If you can get into the habit of doing that, you can shop around, get the best price on that product once you've decided on the product that you want. And if you do want to make a purchase, before you do it online anyway, check out sites like Top Cashback, Quidco. What others are there? There are a few different ones. So look at the cashback sites. I mean, I don't buy that much stuff now, so I don't earn very much money on cashback sites anymore. But at one point, I remember doing all of my Christmas shopping online when I was still working full time and always using cashback sites. And I earned, just from doing my shopping, I earned about £50 or £60. So I did have actually cashed out about 140 in the end. So that was just from clicking on their link to go to whichever retailer it is, and that's literally all you have to do. I think I did a few referrals through my blog as well, so I'll put the referral code down below, and if you feel kind you can click on it using my link, and then I earn a tiny amount of money. It's not very much, but it's always worth doing that. And of course the other thing is that you may decide that you want a certain model or something, whatever you're buying, a new vacuum cleaner or whatever. See if you can find anything secondhand, something similar secondhand. So you don't always have to buy new. Maybe you could consider trying to find something pre-loved. So number 3 would be, if you can, and I realise that some people cannot do this for whatever reason. Maybe they are working full time, they've got 4 children, they just don't have the time, perhaps they have a disability and it makes it difficult. But where you have the capability, try to do the things for yourself that you might otherwise usually pay someone else to do. So that might be doing your own cleaning, doing your own ironing, mowing your own lawn, washing your own car, maybe colouring your own hair, chopping your own produce rather than buying fruit and vegetables and meat already chopped for you. It doesn't take very long. And I do realise, some people, if you've got a disability, then doing those things is too much and it would be difficult. And I do also realise that I'm speaking from a position of someone who's semi-retired now, so I have time to do things, but it wasn't that many years ago that I had my 3 girls all living at home and I worked full time. So I do know what it's like to be very, very pressed for time. However, I couldn't afford to pay people to do those things. I would have loved to. If you can afford it, then brilliant. But I'm thinking that the fact that you come looking at my channel, which is about frugality and saving money, and that you're on a video about 5 frugal things for February and saving money in February, that you probably are looking to cut back a bit. So I think it's absolutely brilliant if you can afford it, because, I worked for a year as a cleaner, as I say, and it was very, very useful money for me. I was waiting for my pension to come in. Now I've got a bit of a pension and I don't have to do it anymore. Creating employment, if you can afford to do it, that's brilliant. I've also taken my car, not recently, but in the past, to car wash people who do an amazing job. They kind of jump on your car like a plague of locusts and suddenly it's all clean inside and out. So, there's a place for those things, and I'm not saying don't give those people employment. What I am saying is if you need to save money for the period that you need to save money, then try really, really doing those things yourself, or get your household to do it. You don't have to do it all yourself. And a lot of women watch this channel and we do tend to feel like it's all down to us. And if we're not doing it, we're thinking about it. Create a sense that it's a shared responsibility with everybody who lives in your household, apart from babies. Everybody else can do a little bit of something, can't they? And share the load. But do it yourself and you'll save loads and loads of money. Read or listen to a book called Less by Patrick Grant. And if you don't know Patrick Grant, if you're in the UK, you might know him from The Sewing Bee, which is on BBC TV. It's a lovely programme. It's really made me want to start sewing again. I've been watching it from the first series again. But I also came across this book on BorrowBox, which is a free library app that we get here in the UK. So I can listen to audiobooks or I can read ebooks. And I tend not to enjoy reading the ebooks that way. But I do love listening to the audiobooks, and I got Less. And let me read you, rather than me trying to explain what it is, let me read you the blurb. So it's called, the full title is Less, Stop Buying So Much Rubbish, How Having Fewer, Better Things Can Make Us Happier by Patrick Grant. And he is, if you don't know him, as I say, he's a Savile Row tailor. So he's somebody who appreciates that something that is made really beautifully of amazing quality might cost quite a lot of money to purchase, like a suit from Savile Row, but it would last forever, as long as you don't put too much weight on. But even then, if you put weight on, they'll take it out, or if you lose weight, they'll take it in. If they usually do free repairs, he was saying in the book. What it says, let me read this to you. We used to care a lot about our clothes. We didn't have many, but those we had were important to us. We'd cherish them, repair them, and pass them on. And making them provided fulfilling work for millions of skilled people locally. Today, the average person has nearly 5 times as many clothes as they did just 50 years ago. Last year, 100 billion garments were produced worldwide, most made from oil, and that's all of those synthetic fabrics, isn't it? 30% of which were not even sold, and the equivalent of 1 bin lorry full of clothing is dumped in landfill or burned every single second. Our wardrobes are full to bursting with clothes we never wear, so why do we keep buying more? In this passionate and revealing book about loving clothes but despairing of a broken global system, Patrick Grant considers the crisis of consumption and quality in fashion and how we might make ourselves happier by rediscovering the joy of living with fewer, better quality things. And he talks about, although that's focusing on clothing, he actually talks about a lot more than clothing. So he puts it in a kind of historical perspective about, how things changed in the Industrial Revolution and how things were historically. And as that little blurb suggested, is that people couldn't afford a lot of things, but what they did have was all made with good quality cotton or wool or linen, probably in this country, and was made carefully and lasted and repaired and passed on. And you'd go and get fitted for a pair of shoes. They would cost you a lot of money, so you would look after those shoes. You would get them resold and rehealed. And now they're produced so cheaply, it costs quite a lot to go and get them resold and rehealed, so we don't bother. So you think, well, that's not worth it for that pair of boots that cost me 20 quid or even less. So it's a really interesting and eye-opening read. I mean, I'm somebody who thinks about these things a lot anyway, and I still come away with a new perspective and a new determination to do better in my purchases in the future. I'm already kind of moving towards trying to buy quality, but often secondhand, better quality. That's fine with me. If it's good quality in the first place, it will last for the next wearer. So it's the same with things like furniture. Buy the best quality that you possibly can, and that's what I'm trying to do now, even if it is secondhand. But if I'm buying new, then definitely looking at quality, because I get so frustrated. I get very frustrated with items that we never used to have, like, for example, steamers. Now, when I was doing house cleaning, I found a really good steamer. It was really heavy duty. My daughter actually got given it as part of a review process because she worked for an online magazine at the time, and she didn't want it, so she gave it to me. And it was great. And I thought, this is really sturdy. It's going to last ages. It lasted 2 years. And before that, I'd had a previous one, which again, I thought was a decent name, didn't even last a year. It was a Vax one, actually. Again, somebody gave it to me, but it was brand new. It was somebody who'd got it free with her Vax Hoover or her Vax machine. And she said, I'm never going to use this. So she gave it to me. And it was great for the time it worked, but it worked for no time at all. And then you can't get it repaired, then it goes to landfill. So now I've gone back to my old-fashioned mop and bucket now. Okay, it takes longer to dry. It probably does a better job, I think, of cleaning. And okay, I'll put in a little bit of floor cleaner or something, where with the steam cleaner, I didn't have to have anything. But, all of these items that we keep buying, that they are made to last only a few years, because then they want you to buy something new. And this is the problem we've got, isn't it? We're using up all these resources to keep buying things. They keep going to landfill. We go buy more things. They keep going to landfill. And it gives people employment. it does give people employment, but I think we need to kind of look at different types of employment really going forward, because we don't have enough resources on our planet to keep going. That's my view anyway. I know some of you probably don't agree with that, but I think that is the case. So it's a very eye-opening book, and you don't have to buy it. You can get it from your library, use your libraries or lose them, or use the Borrow Box app, which is an extension of your library anyway. So yeah, really, really good book. Very, very eye-opening. And thank you to the person that actually recommended that to me. And I'm sorry, I'm really, really sorry. I can't remember who it was, but it was, thank you very much. It was one of my viewers that left that in the comments. So appreciate the recommendation. If you've got any other similar recommendations, let me know. Number 5 on my list, and the last one, is to stop chasing trends. So that might be clothing again. It might be homeware. It might be, how you decorate your house. It could be hobbies. It could be where you go on holiday. There's always trends, aren't there? And you get loads of people on social media telling you, giving you recommendations, or doing those things and making you feel like you would like to do those things or have those things or wear those things or whatever. And I think if you chase trends, not only does it cost you a lot of money because you're not keeping things, you're moving on to the next thing all the time, you're not really using the things that you've already bought, but it kind of gives you a feeling of discontent because you're always looking for the next thing. You're never really thinking about what you really, really like, what you personally like, what makes you happy, what Marie Kondo would say, what sparks joy, what things that you love, completely regardless of whether they happen to be in fashion. And you're just focusing on having those things and filling your home with things that you love, that you're going to want to keep for a long time, and wearing clothes that really you like and that you think suit you, rather than clothes that are fashionable, and maybe doing your hair how you like doing it. And that might be in a very practical way, perhaps you just like having your hair in a ponytail, and that's comfortable for you and it's practical, rather than feeling like you've got to straighten your hair every day or curl it every day or constantly dye it or whatever. So, you get my drift, don't you? You don't always have to be moving with the trends, because the trends are there to make us buy more stuff, basically. So I think this is a lot easier to do as you get older. And certainly, I get probably about 20 years ago, actually, I got to the point where I just thought, I'm not doing that now. So I do really genuinely think about what I like. And you all know that I'm sitting in my recently refurbished bedroom, which I did for, I think in the end, it probably cost about 150 quid to do. It didn't cost much in paint, but I've bought a mirror and a duvet set since I finished it. But it didn't cost a lot of money. And okay, this is not everybody's cup of tea, this pink. I love it. And I find this a very soothing room. I wish I'd saved it for my own bedroom, because this is the spare bedroom. I find it very soothing. I love it. Justin likes it. And that's all that matters, isn't it? It doesn't matter if nobody else likes it, because we do. So this is going to do us until it gets so tatty it needs, to be touched up or maybe changed altogether at some point in the future in a fairly inexpensive way. I expect it will be. So one person did say, oh, I would never choose that colour. Most people liked it, or said I wouldn't choose it myself, but I like it. And so generally speaking, it's been quite positive, but it doesn't matter, does it? If everybody in my comments said, that is vile, what the hell are you thinking? That's horrible. I would just be thinking, well, I'm thinking I like it and it's my home, and I don't care if it's trendy, and I don't care if it's not what other people would have on their Instagram feed. I like it. So, and that's the case with stuff I wear. I mean, most of the time I just wear secondhand stuff. I'm not that fussy. I don't really think that much about what I'm wearing. But occasionally I think, okay, it's my brother's birthday at the weekend. What am I going to wear? And I have a dress that I like. It's probably not that trendy. I've had it a few years. It was bought secondhand, but it's nice. I like it, and I'm going to feel comfortable in it. I don't wear dresses very often, but it is his 60th birthday, so I'm going to make a little bit of effort and put a dress on. But it's not about, oh my God, I need to go and get something new. It's about, what have I got already that I can wear to his party? It's just one day. It's just my family. I have to impress them. They're beyond being impressed by me, I'm sure. So I think it's easier to do as you get older. It is easier to do as you get older, because you don't have, you've learned the lessons, and you don't have that need to impress people anymore or to be influenced by anybody in particular anymore once you get to a certain age. So that's one of the benefits of getting older, I think. Anyway, those are my thoughts, my 5 frugal things for February. Let me know what yours are and what you think of mine as well in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Bye for now.